Is truth valuable in itself, or does its worth depend on how useful it is? The connection between truth and utility has been a central question in philosophy for centuries, shaping debates in epistemology, ethics, and the philosophy of science. Some argue that truth is an end in itself, something we should pursue regardless of its consequences. Others claim that truth is only meaningful if it serves a purpose, helping us to navigate the world and achieve our goals. Others still question whether discourse around truth can even be considered meaningful, given that the participants in the discussion have such divergent ideas about it. One of the earliest discussions of truth comes down to us from Plato, who saw it as an absolute, independent of human needs, yet essentially intertwined with the nature of the good. In contrast, pragmatists like William James and John Dewey rejected the idea of truth as something fixed and eternal. Instead, they argued that a belief is true if it works, if it helps us make predictions, solve problems, and function effectively in life. According to this view, truth is not discovered in some transcendent realm, but is continuously tested and refined through lived experience. Nietzsche took this line of thought even further, claiming that what we call truth is often just a convenient illusion or a useful fiction. He argued that human beings create truths not because they correspond to some objective reality, but because they are practically necessary for survival or to cope with life. The concepts we take for granted, like cause and effect, identity, or morality, are not ultimate truths, but habits of thought that have proven themselves over time. Science, too, is shaped by this tension. Theories are judged not just by whether they are true in an absolute sense, but by how well they explain and predict phenomena. Einstein's relativity replaced Newtonian mechanics, not because Newton was wrong in a practical sense. His laws still worked for most applications, but because Einstein's model accounted for a broader range of observations. Yet, if utility defines truth, does that mean falsehoods can be useful too, or would that then make them into truths? Political propaganda, religious myths, or even comforting delusions can sometimes serve a function, offering stability, motivation, or social cohesion. But does that actually make them true? If we accept that utility plays a role in shaping truth, we must also ask, useful for whom and for what purpose? What, after all, makes one idea more useful than another? It does not seem that we have made much progress by our appeal to utility, if that concept is itself equally mysterious. Which is primary, truth or utility? The real question is therefore whether we pursue truth because it is useful, or because we believe that, in the end, truth itself is the highest utility. So, what do you think?